look good today.
Well, nice. I'm glad to hear that. What have you been up to?
I had a very full schedule on weekend, and today I just felt a bit sleepy, but I'm good.
Yeah. Are you a little out of it right now? Out of it?
Out of it? Out of what?
That's an expression we use. I just feel out of it. Out of it. It's just you are not 100% is what that means. I'm out of it. I don't know, life, something. I don't actually know what it means, but something to do with not yourself. Right? You are out of it. You can say I feel a little. You can say I feel a little fuzzy. A little fuzzy.
Fuzzy? Not quite sure what's fuzzy.
Fuzzy is technically like if you look at my arm, see this arm hair? That's fuzzy. But it's kind of something, yeah. It means like not smooth, right? So if you have things that are running smoothly, they're going well, no problem. If they're a little off, then they're fuzzy. So you can say, I feel fuzzy.
Yeah, I think I feel fuzzy today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You can feel fuzzy and I am fuzzy. So, you know, you have those two things in common. What about this weekend? Did you go out with Jody like you talked about?
No, we canceled the date. I went to see movie alone, and before the movie, I cycled 32 kilometers in 2 hours. It was my personal achievement. I think it was
my personal
really
record.
hard.
My personal record.
Personal record, yeah. But it was really fun. And before the 32 kilometers riding, I went to bar. I forgot how to say that. You know, you go to different bar and take a lot of drinks.
Bar hopping.
Bar hopping till 3 a.m. Yeah, I did a lot of things.
Sorry, bar hopping, not bar. I wrote bar hoping, but I meant bar hopping. Sorry about that.
Hopping. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, bar hopping. So you went bar hopping.
Yeah.
Good. So you said we canceled our date, and typically, though, Americans at least, I think this is also true for the British, but we have to check. Americans use date really only for a romantic sense, right? Okay. So if you're going out like with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, we would instead say plans in a plural sense, right? We canceled our plans.
Yeah, okay.
And that means more of like a social get together. Now you could also say like, there's other ways to say it, but I would say probably, we canceled our plans. Where is Jody today? She's busy working?
I think she's on her period. But I'm not quite sure the actual situation.
Okay. Well, it can be just you and me today, Arwen. That's all right. So, anything exciting then for this week? I know today is Monday. Any big plans for this week?
This week, I don't have any plan yet since today's Monday. But one of my friends asked me to see exhibition this weekend. It's about Dali, the artist. Yeah,
What's the
and
name
I
of the
still
artist?
Dali,
Mm.
a man with
Oh, Dali. Dali.
Dali. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Do you know he
yeah.
has his major, or I think it's his main museum is here in Tampa, where I live.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, in St. Petersburg. I've been there twice. So
why is in Tampa? What?
he is not from Tampa. Dali did not live in Tampa. Basically, there
Mm-hmm.
was somebody who, I forget the whole story, but they were like a huge fan of his, and they bought a bunch of his stuff, and they are from here, so they made the museum here. Dali did
Mm-hmm.
not. I think he spent some time here, but let me double check.
Okay.
The Dali Museum. Yeah, so he lived his whole life in Spain. Is that right? Did he? I don't think he ever lived anywhere other than Spain. Yeah, it looks like here he lived his whole life. And no, I guess he did spend some time in America, a few
Mm-hmm.
years. But anyway, the Dali Museum, the big museum, is here in
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And let me give you the link. Here's the Salvador Dali Museum. It's a very impressive thing. It's actually technically in a city we call downtown St. Petersburg, but it's part of the
Mm-hmm.
Tampa area. And they have a lot of his works there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh.
Crazy mustache. We had, if you're ever in the area, I mean, I know you're on the other side of the planet, but if you ever
Mm-hmm.
come over this way, it's a fun tour. The people who work there are all volunteers and they all love Dali. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened to Emma? Emma got logged off or something. She's trying to come in. But so
Yeah.
what are you doing with Dali then? What's your connection to him?
Uh, Nothing. I know nothing
Mm,
about this artist, but I think it's always interesting that he could have that kind of ideas on
mm,
his works. Yeah,
mm.
maybe
He
I
was
will
in it.
go there.
He was an eccentric guy. You know what that word means? Eccentric.
Eccentric? No,
Eccentric, yeah, an eccentric. So
eccentric.
it's somebody who's kind of out there. They're kind of weird. They say and do weird things. Not a bad person, right? You can be eccentric and you don't hurt anybody. It's not like that. But you're just
Mm.
kind of goofy, you know. You see the world different.
Yeah, so eccentric kind of positive way to describe a person.
I would call it a neutral word, in my opinion. It's
Uh,
not positive or negative.
okay.
It's like I guess it could be negative, but it's to me it's neutral. You know, weird
Mm-hmm.
has a more negative sound to it. You're weird. That's a bad thing. That's negative.
Yeah.
You're eccentric is like, you know, you're a little different. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Hello, Emma. I think I kicked you out of the meeting by mistake. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
I was like, I don't want to see you today. I only want to hang out with Arva. I don't want to see you.
Okay. Bye.
No, I tried to hit admit and I think I hit remove. So anyway, sorry about that. So how are you doing today, Emma?
Great. Today, although it's Blue Monday, but actually it's kind of Valentine's Day today.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So we order some actually I want to ask Aiden, how can we say Taiwanese fried chicken? It look like a huge chicken in Taiwan. I want to send you a picture. Wait a minute.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Fried chicken?
Fried chicken it's actually kind of funny to me because you can go anywhere on earth. You can go to Europe, Asia, America, South America, and we all eat fried chicken. Everybody eats it. You know, doesn't matter where you are. There's somebody eating fried chicken, and it must be for a reason. You know, that bird too. I realize is it. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, that's kind of different looking. No, the picture's not there. It comes. It wasn't loading for a minute. I would probably call that a chicken tender.
Tender.
A chicken tender, Tender, or a finger. Maybe we sometimes call them chicken fingers. Depends on how big it is. Chicken fingers or chicken tenders. That's what it looks like to me.
Chicken tenders. Yeah. Why chicken? Why tenders? Tender is mean gentle and soft.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where that word comes from, actually.
Okay.
Emma, I'd have to look that up. For that, I think tender also, it means soft. So in this sense, it means no bones, right? The chicken is tender. It doesn't have any bones in it.
Makes sense.
Chicken tenders, yeah. Chicken fingers often have one of the bones, and chicken tenders do not. No bones, just a piece of meat with breading. Yeah.
Okay, so today we ordered chicken tender, and we very enjoy it because since it's Valentine's Day and we can go home, be company with our lovers, we need to go work. So my boss just say, okay, let's take it easy, take a break, and eat some tender. Also, we order the bubble tea, Taiwan bubble tea.
Taiwan bubble tea.
Yeah.
Taiwanese, yes, Taiwanese bubble tea. Yeah, and when we make a country into an adjective, we usually change the root. So you have the country is, let's say, Germany. So something from Germany we call German, like German tea, right? Same thing with Taiwan, it becomes Taiwanese. China, Chinese, Korea, Korean, and so on. It's usually the same name as the language. Just so you are aware, the adjective to describe a country's origins is usually the same as the language in English, right? So you have France, where they speak French, and the food is French food. And that's true really with I can't think of an exception, actually. Yeah, Thai, Indian. Yeah, because if you speak Arabic, you are an Arab, but the food would be Arabic food, not Arab food. So in fact, sometimes Americans, when they're trying to be kind of mean or nasty or cruel, they will change that. They will say, I get some Arab food. It's kind of like you're insulting the food. I get some of that Taiwan food. Not that you were doing that on purpose, of course, but so the correct thing is Taiwanese. You know, Emma, you can always tell on days like today if your boss is in a happy relationship or not, right? Because if they're not, then it's Valentine's Day and they're in a bad mood and everyone is suffering, you know. But if they're in a good relationship, then it's like, yeah, go home early. Yeah.
I wish I am the boss, but unfortunately, I am not. I'm just a worker who makes some money.
You're a worker bee.
Worker bee, yeah.
Worker bee.
Worker bee.
Oh, you ever heard that before? Worker bee?
No.
No. You can be the worker bee or you can be the queen bee.
A little bit different between queen and bees, I know, but also worker, right?
Worker bee and queen bee, right? Worker bee. We use those animal comparisons a lot. What about you, Arwen? What do you have going on for this day? You know, your coworkers happy? Are they excited about Valentine's Day? Or?
I work from home today. I didn't see anything except my roommate. So, and I don't have anything, and even my flowers are dying. So I guess, yeah, they're actually dying. I need to buy a new one. So I don't need to celebrate that.
Arwen, will you be my Valentine?
I'm single.
Aiden, do you have any
maybe I just
introduce
play Tinder. I just play Tinder to celebrate that. Yeah.
Oh, I say, Arwen, you can be my Valentine. I just won't tell my wife. We won't tell her.
Wow! Yay!
All right. She won't know. She won't know. So, yeah. Well, see, we celebrate Valentine's Day in February, not in March. I think February 13th or something like that. I forget the date, but kind of a common thing all over the world. We tried over years to recently to be a little more sensitive because, you know, they're single people and you don't want them to feel bad. So, you know, we try to, but you know, these last 2 years are the first time that I've had anybody on Valentine's Day in like 15 years. No, how long? 12 years. So, you know, I had various girlfriends and stuff, but it always worked out that they broke up with me or something happened and I was single on Valentine's every year. Or we were fighting, you know, that happened. So I had no Valentine, Arwen, for over a decade. So don't feel bad. It happens. It happens to all of us. All right. Well, okay. So happy Valentine's Day to you then, Emma. Did you do anything special today?
I just bought some special dessert for my boyfriend, and he was very satisfied.
Satisfied. Mm-hmm.
Satisfied. So I just pass. Because you know, in Taiwan, we also celebrate Valentine's Day on February, but in that month, it means boy needs to prepare some gift or special to girl, and in March we need to upside down. So in March,
reverse. You need to reverse it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. We reverse.
Although I like upside down. I like the way that you know, upside down. That sounds nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today is my hope he enjoy my preparation. But actually I bought some gift to him, but
for him.
Mm-hmm. But it kind of delayed because the traffic.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the gift?
Just a cup.
A cup?
A cup. Yes.
Well, you said delayed in the traffic. I thought it was a dancing girl or something like that. You know, who's gonna show up and dance. You know,
okay, dancing girl is no, we don't need that. If he needs if he need a one, I will be the one. Okay.
Oh, you.
Let's go.
See, for me, I'd be too lazy. I would hire a guy to dance for my wife because I don't want to do it, you know. So I'll sit on the couch and just get in my phone, you know. It's too much work, you know. I don't want to do all that. It's too much work. It's what happens when you get old, Emma. You start hiring people to do things, you know, that you don't want to do.
Age. Okay.
Well, I hope that it all goes well for you and that you have some fun. So anything you want to go over today, Arwen, talk about, learn, study, anything pressing on your mind?
Pressing. Not much to say. Yeah.
Not much. Okay. What about you, Emma? Anything you want to go over today?
Yes, actually, I've been made some special experience recently. It's about relationship on work.
Work relationships, okay.
Yes, you know, I'm just joining the new company and I am designer. So actually, I will join few projects. But for now, I'm just only one project. But in this project, normally it have a product PM who own this schedule, who own this schedule and need to plan all function and all needs. But in my case, my product manager,
project manager,
he kind of not not very familiar with this workflow. So anything, for example, we have another manager we need to contact and sync all the information to another team, but the how can I say that, the contact the other team, all of them, they contact me, not the product manager, not the project manager.
But should be him, right?
Yeah.
You've become what we call the point person. We have a term, point person. And that's like the spot you go to when you need something. So you might be one person on a team of 30, and they could ask anyone on the team, but they ask you. And that could be good or bad, but you are the point person. Is that what you're saying? You've become the point person?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think this kind of the relationship a little bit sensitive, because if I participate or join too much my idea in this schedule, then it is out of my job. How can I say that?
So you would say that's beyond is the word. Beyond. Yeah, beyond my scope is probably the word you want to use. Beyond my scope, or you can say outside of my responsibilities. There's other ways to say that, but it's beyond, it's outside of my duties, right? Outside of my duties, yeah.
Yes, it's outside my duty. But if I don't to be the point person, then we will miss some key reason or result next week. Then everyone will.
Yeah, if you don't do this, your team could suffer in some ways.
Could suffer.
Your team could have some problems. Okay, so what are you thinking then, Emma?
I think it's very weird. Then I talk this situation with my boss. Then my boss, he answered me, "Okay, you just do it. Great job."
Are all of these people Taiwanese, or some of them Americans, or they're all Taiwanese?
All Taiwanese.
Yeah. All right. So you like my advice? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. Sure. Well, there are cultural things that make Taiwanese people different than Americans. So I don't know exactly. I tend to not get involved in anything that I'm not directly responsible for. That's my own kind of take on things. The reason I do that is in my opinion, there's too much negative. It doesn't outweigh the positive. So you can be trying to help. I want to help, right? You have some problem. I want to help you with your problem. But if the word here we use is purview, right? If it's not your purview, which is kind of like your area, your spot, and you kind of stick your nose in, that's an idiom we use, right? We stick my nose in, then you can step on someone's toes. That's another idiom. Step on someone's toes, right? In other words, this is my area and you are getting involved. When I use email chains, I typically carbon copy someone. I add someone to the chain. So Arwen reaches out, "Hey, Adam, how do I do da 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 da?" And then if I know that that's Emma's job, I add Emma to the email. I say, Arwen, I'm not really sure, but Emma will be great to help you with that. And then that's me. That's what I do. Culturally for us, that's kind of understood, and that's okay. I don't know how Taiwanese people would take that. I don't know if that's acceptable or not, if that's somehow like you aren't trying, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't get involved in that, Emma. Are you the boss? Are you ultimately responsible for this, or are you just working on the project?
I'm just working on the project.
Yeah. Well, I personally would not take any extra steps. That's me. Now you have to do what makes sense for you. And we can ask Arwen what she thinks, but I would not do anything outside of my purview unless I was asked to. And I would be cautious about that just because, you know, you might know most of what someone does, but you might not know everything. So, you know, I get questions all the time about technical stuff. Hey, I can't do thus and so. And I respond in a very basic way. Oh, you know, did you try logging off and logging back in? You know, but if it gets more technical than that, I say you need to talk to customer support. I don't do that. You know, I'm not going to try to do that. I'm afraid of creating more problems. So that's me. Well, I hope that answers your question. What do you think, Arlen, about that?
I kind of understand what Alan's talking because my former company, we used to have American marketing rule. And I remember that my former boss asked him, his name is Danish, and my former boss asked this American Danish do something that not his responsibility. He just reject it because his thing is not his job. He's not good at this. If you need this, you find a person to complete the mission, not him. And it's quite weird for me. And my former coworkers, they told me that is how Americans do. And I just, wow, okay, culture shock, I think. And in my
let me interrupt you real quick, Arwen, and we'll come back.
Yeah.
But, so
yeah.
You would say you are very likely, if someone asks you about something, to try and help them no matter what it is, even if it's not your area?
Yes,
yeah.
I am.
Right.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. I think it actually had affect my mental health. So I changed. And in my company, it happens sometimes. And I think what Emma did is pretty nice because you just told your boss about that. And I think the only way to do is you trying to help him, the project manager, but involve him to all the discussion and meeting. He need to know everything. He need to stick with you. Yeah, you can help him now, but not always.
Yeah.
And in my company, sometimes we actually do things that beyond my scope.
Beyond your scope.
But we have a list. We have a documentation that we do peer review twice per year. And if you did something beyond your scope, your coworkers gonna know it, and they're gonna write it down. And there is some rule, there is some principle. If you did this, and because you have more, you have
initiative.
In what's initiative?
Initiative is when you like.
What was that?
Well, I think maybe you're looking for the word initiative. Initiative is when you make the efforts without having to be told. Like I didn't tell you to do it, you went on.
Yes.
Initiative.
Yes. Then you can. There is some formula that you can raise.
Ooh.
Get a raise.
Yeah. Yeah. There is some principle.
Okay.
So all of my coworkers, everyone's push them very hard because you know what you have done. There is some feedback,
Graded.
Rewards maybe. Yeah.
So, and I'll respond to that. So we have some people, Americans, who take this attitude that I have described, kind of an extreme, and it's not good. You know, we actually don't like it in ourselves. So there's an attitude of some people that, well, that's not my job. That's not my job. And they won't do anything. That's not exactly what it says. So I wouldn't advocate that. I'm not like that. But, you know, someone comes to you with some problem and you know that it should be directed somewhere else, you could maybe, in my opinion, you could try to help them, but make sure that other person is aware, at least, right? And I don't know if this is answering your question or not, but if Arwen can't do something and you know that Johnny over there should be helping her, if you're going to answer Arwen, I would make sure Johnny knows, hey, you got your people here who are not, they don't know what to do, and you need to be aware of that, because you're not the boss ultimately, Emma. And in my view, you know, our fear would be this: you start giving people instructions. Oh, do this, do this, do this, and then something goes wrong, and they're going to say, well, Emma told me that I needed to. Yeah. And that kind of thing does happen. Is Emma your boss? Does Emma give you instructions? Emma tells you what to do? Oh, no? Oh, okay then. See what I mean? So I don't know exactly if I'm detailing your situation, but when you work on a team, in our view, the place to offer your opinion and input is at a meeting, or if someone's asking for a suggestion. Hey guys, it's meeting time. What should we do? You know, you can raise your hand. Okay, we should. But other than that, I wouldn't do that personally. I don't, you know, what's the benefit to you personally? Maybe, you know, another thing too, maybe Americans are a little too individualistic. You know, I think that sometimes that's a bad thing for us. We're very individualistic. So we often think, well, how does that help me? Instead of how does that help the team? And in some ways, that's maybe a way that Asian cultures, that African cultures are better than us. They think more about the team. You know, how can I help the team? And we often don't. We often think, how does this help me? So in some ways, that's good in life, and in some ways, it's not good. So you have to figure that out. You know, I hope that answers your question. It's the best advice I can give you. Right? My father told me growing up all the time, you know, do what's best for Adam. You know, a little kid, do what's best for Adam. And that's something.
Really?
Yeah.
Your dad told you that? Wow. I never heard
from the time
I never heard my parents told me that.
Yeah. The individualism of Americans and Western people is often hard for other people to understand. You know, they can read about it. You can watch it in a movie, but it really permeates who we are. And it is good and it is bad. It causes a lot of problems, and it's part of the reason why we are so creative and so aggressive. And, you know, we have so much money and we are so unhappy. You know, we have so much and we always want more. We never satisfy. It's very individualistic. Yeah.
I think it's very different. I had an experience just happened 3 days ago. Maybe not the same, but what you say just remind me about that. I have a new friend. He's American, and 3 days ago he told me that because he loves cycling, and he sent his bicycle to the store to do some maintenance. Yeah.
Yep.
Maintenance. Yeah. And after he sent his bicycle over there, 2 days later, he went back to the store, and the staff just told him the equipment just sent back delayed, so I didn't start to do my work. And he got mad. He complained a lot. Yeah, and he said, it's your job. You promised me today I'm gonna get my new bicycle. You didn't get your job. It's not that hard. I pay you and I will do all the things by my own. And I said, you don't need to say that. Maybe there's some reason. Maybe they just have a bad day. You can just
we don't want to hear that.
This is actually what I think. I mean, I got mad too, but I will not say that. I will never come to this store anymore. And I will tell, I don't feel happy. Maybe I will come in 2 days later, but I will never say that to the store. And I think it's very different. It's just, yeah, he cannot understand why, he could not understand why I say that. But, well, you know, discussion.
No, that's good. And you find, you know, and of course, everyone's different, right? I mean, it's not like all Taiwanese people are the same. You know, some are more aggressive than others. Some are nicer than, I mean, it's just life. But there are kind of cultural boxes that you can put people in. And we tend to be, Americans especially, very aggressive and individualistic. Now, Americans are very nice, very kind people. You know, hey, can I help you? And, you know, but when there's something involving our self-interest, we tend to be very aggressive and very demanding, individualistic. What's best for me, or maybe what's best for my immediate family. But, you know, being on a big team, that's, you know, I guess you want the team to win, you know, that's good, but is it good for me or is it not? That kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you all your advice and suggestion. I think it helped me a lot, actually. So next, I think I will wait and see, but I will adjust myself, not get involved too much. But I need to make sure all the schedule is on time. Just because if this project screw, we all screw. Yeah.
Well, and see, in that sense, then you can take my kind of American logic and apply it, right? If you say, I'm doing something in my own interest by helping you, right?
Okay.
Have you all, this is a book I would all recommend you read. It's called Adam Smith, and it's called The Invisible Hand.
Yeah. Classic.
Maybe you've heard of this, right? Wait, I can't even spell anymore. Jesus, Invisible. Here, ignore that word. There we go. The Invisible Hand. I swear I can spell. All right. This book is in many ways indicative of us as a culture. It's called The Spirit of Capitalism, The Invisible Hand of the Market. It's published in 1776. So we're talking almost 250 years ago. And it's, you know, it's written in kind of early modern, well, it's modern English, but it's a little tough to read. So I maybe could read a translation in Mandarin, but he talks about the invisible hand of the market, and the market meaning the economy is really what it means. And in his view, people act in their self-interest. That's what they do. People are selfish actors. And in some ways, Adam Smith thinks that's bad. He's kind of sad about that. He wishes that wasn't so, but it is so, according to him. That's just what we are. We act selfishly. And so because that, we need to, A, number one, accept it, and then B, devise a system for life that acknowledges that fact. So for him, you have all these little transactions, right? I decide to use Zoom instead of Microsoft Teams. I decide to go to Burger King instead of McDonald's. I take my vacation in Taiwan instead of the Philippines. right? And I'm just one person. Doesn't mean much, right? If I go to Taiwan or if I go to the Philippines, does Taiwan really care? You know, oh, I lost Adam's money. Who cares? But if millions of people decide to go to the Philippines for vacation and not to Taiwan, Taiwan might care about that. That might be like, oh, we lost all our tourists, right? So you get the idea. Something for you to check out when you have time. I know you two are busy. Good. Well, good talking point, Emma. And what about you, Arwen? Anything that you want to talk about?
I have a question. What's the opposite of aggressive?
Aggressive would be passive.
Yes.
Passive.
Passive? You mean very calm and want everyone be nice like that?
Yeah, aggressive has more than one opposite. Like in this sense, though, I would call it it's like an opposite of aggressive could be relaxed. Depends on the context, but mostly I would call it passive.
Yeah, I need this word because I think in our culture, Taiwanese be taught be passive. It's a good trait of your personality. Yeah,
and that might be better for a more collectivist mentality, thinking about the group, right? So we have individual things and we have group things, right? And that group could be in a family or it could be in a tribe, right? And now in the modern world, it's something broader, a city or a country. And you have to live in the city, right? I mean, if you're driving down the road, you can't say, well, I want to go on this lane at 500 miles an hour and I don't care about anyone else on the road, right? That would be pure individualism. I'm going to go down this road 100 miles an hour. I don't care about anybody else. So you can't have a modern world without some collectivism. It can't just be all individualism all the time. Then we'd all be shooting each other.
Sure.
Right. So within that world, you know, you have some people who are very aggressive and others who are more passive.
And it caused some problem. Some of my friends, you know, in general, we are passive. And some of my friends, when they try to consider themselves, their own benefit, maybe their families or their parents ask them to do something they don't want. They just want to consider themselves. They got guilty because they think, they feel guilty because they don't want to be selfish. It's not selfish at all. It's not at all. But we connect this mindset very easily. So I always told my friend that thinking about yourself is okay. And even though being passive, being consider about the group you live in, it's still a very selfish thing because you want your group better and it help you better. And usually my friend felt better when I say that. You know, you need to change the mindset to help people to increase. No, it's not increase. Less their guilty.
Reduce their guilt.
Yeah, reduce their guilt.
See, your notion of I want to improve others.
Yeah.
Right, is actually rejected by Adam Smith. He says that never works. He says the way to improve the lives of others is to improve your own life. And that might seem counterintuitive, which is like a logical fallacy, something that you say A, but you mean B. But it's not, right? So in his view, everyone, you, me, everyone, trying to improve their own life actually improves society, right? By making yourself more valuable in the world, more skilled, earning more money, being able to buy and sell and do more, you actually make the rest of the world better. Not intentionally, right? You're being selfish, and your selfishness makes life better for everyone else. That's his argument anyway. And that argument really permeates with us. Even if a lot of Americans couldn't describe that to you because they've never read these things, they live it every day. There are hundreds of thousands of small businesses here. I own one, right? But you can go on the state of Florida's website and just see rows and rows and rows. Companies that do every little thing. And maybe it's like that in Taiwan too, but Americans are always, what's a better way? What's a better way? We could find a better way, a cheaper way, a smarter way, all the time. Yeah. My wife has some trouble with that. She's from Colombia, and I've tried to help her be more individualistic because her family, but in some ways her family would kind of take advantage of her. You know, she was always there to fix any problem, call care, anything, call care. And I tried to tell them, like, this isn't right. This isn't right. They're adults. You know, they need to, her brother went to Spain and he couldn't do something with paperwork and called her, Karen, I need you to, I said, Karen, he can go on Google and figure it out. He doesn't need to bother you at 2 a.m. about it. And of course he did. He went and figured it out. But I'm like, you know, you teach your man to fish, he eats for life. You give him a fish, he eats for a day. Go ahead, Arwen, go ahead.
I think this is why I always like to make some friend with some Western people, because they give me totally opposite thinking. And I kind of agree and disagree your opinion, because I think, I benefit people, but in my subconscious, I think I helping my friend like me, they give me some support, and it helped me to survive in the future. It's a long-term investment. It sounds so bad, but it's actually, I believe in this. Different country, different company, they collaborate, they're helping each other to make everyone.
So you're thinking about yourself, Arwen. You're thinking about yourself.
Company collaborate.
But see, being selfish doesn't mean I ignore others or I don't help others. Right? That's a mentality. And I'm going to do for you because it'll help me later on. That's self-interest.
What's the difference?
So you can say, like, you know, being selfish doesn't mean you don't help someone. Right.
Yeah.
But you instead of like, I'm going to harm myself to help you. So like parents will do that. Parents are not normally selfish, or they shouldn't be, right? They actually sacrifice their own to make things better for their kids, right? As adults, Westerners believe that should go away, and you should be self-interested. All right, I can help you if I say, oh, Arwen's going to do something for me next month, but that's not really being selfless. That's being selfish.
I don't think I get it. It's a bit complicated.
All right. So in other words, I've got a project.
You, Emma.
I'm doing a project and I have a deadline. Arwen needs me. So I stop my project. I'm going to get in trouble and I go help Arwen.
Yeah.
That would be being selfless.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if my motive is, well, I know, look, Arwen's going to give me a lot of money one day, or she's going to help me one day. then maybe I'm being selfish, or different modes. Go ahead, Emma.
Oh.
You okay, Emma?
Oh, me? My turn?
Yeah, you. Yeah, your turn.
Okay, I'm just very enjoying your conversation. It's really wonderful. It's a very wholesome conversation, you know, and it's like a nation conditions, and also we talk about relationship and social economic and human interaction, and also our education, our parent. I want to make some conclusion, but I think the conclusion would be Aiden to do it would be wonderful, because you know I really enjoy your conversation in that moment.
We don't have to solve all the world's problems today in this class. That's okay. You know, these things we're talking about, human beings have discussed for literally thousands of years, thousands. You know, what is good, what is not, what should we do, what should we not, you know, how should we treat each other? And we certainly haven't figured it out. I think that Americans should probably be less individualistic. I think in some ways it hurts us. It leads to being unhappy. It's hard for a lot of Americans to just sit back and enjoy and relax. There's always got to be something new, something go, more, bigger. You're never satisfied. So in some ways that leads to a lot of growth and technology and all this stuff. Well, then we're not happy. So what's the point? You know, you go to Colombia, they have a lot less money, but they seem happier to me. You walk on the street, people are smiling. So what's the better way to live? You know, more money, more cars, more house, for what? Right? Does that make sense?
Great.
Deep thinking at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, I really enjoy it.
It's all about balance. Yeah.
Balance, yes. And you know, Asian culture, Confucianism, Taoism, they deal with those concepts, balance, yin yang, all that. That's all that's good stuff. And you know, the ancient Chinese were pretty smart people. You're talking people who were around, you know, 3,000-4,000 years ago. And I don't know if you've read those ancient Chinese books, maybe you have, like the Chuangzi and the Confucian texts and stuff.
We used to, yeah.
Yeah, they have some very good wisdom in them. And these are written by people who lived a long time ago. But they had a pretty good sense, in my opinion, of how things ought to be. So, yeah, good reading. All right, well, that's kind of a high note. So maybe we should leave it at a high note. End on a high note. You ever heard that before?
No. What's that?
All right. So in the opera, and I can't sing, but I'm going to sing. They're singing like this, and then they end on the high notes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So that's how you know it's over, right? The opera, they end on the high notes. Okay. So shall we end on a high note?
Yeah. Sure.
Emma and Arwen, do you want to sing? You should sing a high note.
I hate singing. Emma, go ahead.
You don't have to sing. You don't have to sing. I'm just picking. All right. Well, I will see the two of you on Thursday, man. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye for now.
See you.
Bye.